Episode of State of Real Estate. My name is John Carissimo, and we're here, like we are every Friday, 12 noon Eastern Time, to help you grow your real estate business, to help get you the information that will help launch maybe a new aspect of your business, or maybe take a deeper dive into one aspect of your business, because right now, more so than ever, digital is important. To have a strong digital strategy. If you want to succeed in real estate right now, you have to go digital. 100% basically, almost 100%. You got to go all in on your digital strategy, and I'm talking about from your ad campaigns to generate leads, because yes, there are still leads out there, you just have to know where to look for them. So you got to have the ad strategy to generate the leads, the landing pages that are optimized and specific to what that lead is looking for, and then the follow-up to nurture that lead and inform them and educate them on the things you need to inform them and educate them on, so they're more prepared to make the decisions they would make with you, whether that's to buy or sell real estate. So this is really a whole process of getting their attention, capturing the lead, capturing their attention, converting them into a lead, following up with them, and nurturing them and educating them and informing them. Because this should be something you're doing in any part of your business. It doesn't matter what the economy looks like. It doesn't matter where your business is at, whether it's just starting out or whether it's been going for 10 years. This should be something you should always have going on. It's a system for collecting leads and running them through the system in this funnel of nurturing and educating. Now, if you're like a lot of real estate agents, you might have relied on face-to-face interaction or maybe even phone calls. And yeah, the phone calls still work right now. Maybe you've been using FaceTime, maybe you've used Skype. We're going to be talking about all these different technologies that are out there right now to help you still be able to practice real estate while maintaining distance from others, while being able to do everything virtually and from a safe distance, and still being able to conduct real estate transactions. Because if you could figure that out, when things get back to normal, once this eventually dies off, it's a question of how long that's going to be. And don't worry about thinking about how long it's going to be. Think about what you could do right now, because it's probably not going away in the next week or two. There's going to be things that are different for a while, and things have already changed just because things have gone more digital. So if you could take this opportunity to build a stronger digital strategy, you're going to make your business more efficient going forward and getting out of this. If you work hard now, if you go all in now, if you go put in the work now, the extra work that you wouldn't normally do to build something stronger, then again, when things start to get back to normal, that's when you're really going to start to have a lot more momentum going on. But you got to start pushing that right now. So that's what we're talking about today, your digital strategy. We're going to be laying out just again, these steps and how, just some framework so you can kind of get this start to finish of capturing somebody and educating them, working them through this whole process, because once you've educated them, they're going to have the information they need to be able to make a decision. And then it's not you trying to get them to make a decision. They're going to be raising their hand saying, hey, I need to make a decision. I need you to help me make a decision. And this is scalable because this can be digitally done. This can be virtually done. This can be done. We're going to be talking about a combinations of videos, of web pages, of landing pages, of articles, of email follow-ups, and all kinds of things like this, again, so you have something that's scalable. Because it's all just a numbers game. It's a matter of, okay, what is your conversion rate and how many people is it that you're reaching? And once you have this figured out, it's just simple math of how much more you need to put into it to get this much more of it out of it. And you can get it down to that much of a science if you go all in on your digital strategy. So that's what we're talking about today. My name is John Carissimo. You're watching State of Real Estate.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. My name is John Carissimo. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. If you're thinking about starting a real estate career, you need exam prep tools, post-licensing, continuing education, maybe you haven't heard about the post-licensing extension yet, whatever the case may be, call us up, 813-333-2676 for any of your real estate education needs. And if you guys have questions or comments on any of this information here, drop that in the chat here and get that answered for you. But anyways, there's a model that that's been around for, like, since the beginning of print advertising, it seems like. I don't know, it's maybe more recent than that, but I think at least like the 80s, if not at least the 60s, if not even before that, of attention, interest, desire, action. And I still like this format, I still like this model, because it takes somebody from just getting their intention to moving them to taking action. But we've got to define this out a little bit more. So that's why we're not going to be talking about this AIDA model here, the attention, interest, desire, action. We're going to break this down simple, just tactical information. Again, what these steps are and some basic tools that are out there to help you do stuff like this. So first thing, attention. You need to capture attention. And how do you capture attention? Well, you're going to capture attention through some sort of advertisement. Some sort of advertisement. Yes, this could potentially be a social media post that's not paid, but if, again, you're really trying to dial into the specific audience that you want to target to be able to get the largest conversion rates from your investment in the advertising, because, again, you're still investing in this even if you're just doing a free post, because you're investing time in this. You're going to have to invest time to create an ad, but you're also investing money, which is going to cause it to scale to a much larger level. So for advertising platforms, there's really two main players right now, with the Facebook network, which also includes Instagram and a bunch of like the internet, and then the other one is Google. Those are the two giants of advertising for digital. And they've got a lot of really great tools that make it where you could build really effective ads. Or you could build really bad ads if you don't know what you're doing and waste a ton of money. So you've got to be careful with this. My suggestion for this, if you don't know what you're doing, if you've never done this before, to start small. Start small, figure out where the kinks are, figure out where the problems are, and then you could start to scale this a little bit larger. You could start to grow this into a larger ad campaign. Now, again, if you do want to try to do this with organic social media posts or posting in groups or things like that, do that too, but I would not rely on this as a primary source of traffic. So this, yes, you have to pay for it, but it's dependable, because you know if you pay X amount of dollars, you're going to get X amount of traffic. Whereas if you just try to make an organic post, yeah, you might make a post and it might get a bunch of traffic, or maybe no one sees it. And you really don't have much control. Now, if you know what you're doing, you can influence it one way or the other. Maybe get a little bit more exposure, but again, if you want to dial into the exact audience that you want to reach, the exact audience, the exact potential customers, exact potential clients, then paid advertising, highly recommend it that way. And then for this, I mean, you might have to maybe make a video, or maybe you don't. Now, if you're going to make a video, because everybody's making videos right now. If you haven't noticed, the world is in front of a camera, whether it's just a video conference or they're just making YouTube videos or Facebook videos or whatever it is. Everybody owns a camera, almost every single person on this planet owns a camera. I'm sure there's a large population somewhere of people that don't have cameras, but in the United States, basically everybody has a camera. I'm sure where you are, where you're watching this from, if you're watching this, probably almost everybody has access to a camera. So this is no longer just, hey, just put content out there. This is, hey, why don't you make this look good? Or at least make yourself look presentable. At least make sure people can hear you. Try to put some effort into it. Make sure it's lit up well. Make sure it's well lit. You don't have to go invest in fancy lighting, but you maybe go in front of a window or outside and not where the window's behind you. This isn't a real window back here. We've invested a lot in this studio because this is something that we use as part of our primary business. Not only do we do live streams here to help spread the message of Tampa School of Real Estate and help inform our students and potential students about trends in real estate and things they can do to make more money in real estate and how to start a real estate career. So this isn't a hobby for us. This isn't just something that's fun to do. I mean, it is fun to do. Kind of is a little bit of a hobby, but it's also something we rely on this business, so we treat it like a business, and that's why we make this look professional, because this is part of our business. So that's my recommendation. Yeah, you can still get this done, and I mean, again, you don't have to go invest in some big crazy studio, but at least make sure people can see you. And how do you do that? You look at the video. You record it a little bit, look at it, that doesn't look very good, that doesn't look very professional, and what can I do to fix that? Balance this out, though, because don't put too much thought into it that you don't do it. But if you're going to invest money in an advertisement, make sure that this is something that's going to convert. And how do you make sure that? Well, you start off small. Figure out, okay, does this work? Is this going to get anything? And if it does, then you could scale it larger. Now that's for the attention stage of this. You could do videos, you could also do pictures, you could do all kinds of stuff like that. But I want this to really kind of be full circle, because it's not just running an ad. It's not just running an ad that says call me. Do not just run an ad that says call me. You might get a couple of calls, but that's an intimidating thing to do, to just call some random complete stranger, some random business that you've never talked to before that you don't know much about. They want to know more about you before they're ready to pick up the phone. So how do you give them more information? Well, now you send them to a landing page. This is where you're going to start informing them. So doing this through some sort of landing page. And now when I say landing page, I don't just mean a website. You don't want to just send people to the homepage of your website. That's the worst way you could spend your advertising dollars, is sending people to the homepage of your website. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it works. But most of the time you can get a much better return on your investment if you send them to a specific landing page that is tailored to the advertisement that they just saw, which is tailored to what this customer is ultimately interested in. So you're ultimately having a profile potentially of a potential buyer that you're trying to target with this ad strategy, or a potential seller that you're trying to target with this ad strategy. You figure out, okay, who is this person and how do I try to identify them using the systems that I can to target them to reach that specific person. And again, that's the benefit of paying for your advertising rather than just relying on free organic social media posts, is you can control exactly who sees it, which are again, you want to try to make that the people that are most likely to do business with you. But the reason they haven't done business with you is, number one, they don't know who you are. And even if they did know who you are, they don't know if they're ready to do business with you. They don't even know if they're ready to do business with anybody, because they're not even sure if they are ready to buy. In uncertain times, that's where you're going to have to clarify what's going on and what they need to know. They're not a real estate expert. If they were a real estate expert, they wouldn't be looking for information for you. So the people that make it onto this landing page are going to be looking for information. And that's why I said you want to start informing them. You want to start informing them of information to start to build their interest. You want to build their interest, provide some value in this landing page, and ultimately what you want to have is conversion. Now, conversion is a fancy internet marketing word for getting what you want. So what is the goal of this landing page? Initially, your goal is to get maybe an email. Now you might say, well, what about their name? What about their phone number? What about their address? What about this? What about that? What about this? Hold on. Let's at least just try to get an email first. Imagine you're trying to pick somebody up at a bar. If you're going to go try to pick somebody up at a bar, would you just ask them for their phone number? Or would you say, hey, what's your name? What's your phone number? Where do you live? What's your social security number? How much is your monthly housing payment? Whoa, wait a minute. We just met. So you've got to treat this the same way. You're just meeting this person, and even to get their email, you should be so lucky to get their email. Now, you're going to be lucky because you're going to provide them value, and you're going to test this. Throughout this whole process, this is extremely important. This is one of the fundamental aspects of digital strategy, is tracking and testing. That's why digital can be so powerful, and this is universal across any business, but specifically in real estate as well. Digital can be extremely powerful because there's so much tracking potential. We could realize what path somebody goes through all this here to get to ultimately being a customer of yours. There's all kinds of systems out there for tracking this information, but ultimately you got to start to get into other forms of communication with them. Getting the attention, that's great. You use Facebook. A lot of people on Facebook right now. Just read an article yesterday that Facebook is working overtime basically to keep their servers running, because so many people are on Facebook right now. So demand on Facebook is surging right now. Demand for ads on Facebook is surging right now. A lot of advertisers pulled back their advertising because they don't know how to do business yet in a digital economy. So they pulled back their advertising, so there's less supply of advertising, yet there's more demand for the advertising. Prices might go down a little bit with this. So keep that in mind. This might be a great time to advertise. Now it depends, because there's a lot of advertisers already taking advantage of being able to do business digitally. They figured it out already. Maybe they already had digital as part of their business, and they're just diving deeper into it and pushing it more to the forefront. This is where you've got like the Uber Eats. They're doing really well right now. Amazon can't keep up. Facebook can't keep up. Any business that's able to figure out how to serve people from a distance in their homes, doing contactless, whatever, they're doing really well right now. There's tons of articles about all these companies that have figured out how to survive. They got smart. That's what you need to do with your business. You need to get smart about your business. How can you stay safe? How can you keep your clients safe? How can you make sure safety is still the priority, but still continue to do business? You don't have to choose between safety and business. We have the technology. It's out there. Anyways, back into the digital strategy here, because again, we don't have a business if we don't have clients either, so we've got to get some clients. But again, clients might be anytime. Anytime they're thinking about buying a home or selling their home, they're thinking of either buying or selling the biggest purchase of their lifetime, their biggest asset. And that's a big decision regardless of what's going on. And as there's changes in the market, as there's things that are uncertain, and as you study real estate and how real estate is being affected and how real estate has changed and how you can still do business in real estate and what things you need to communicate and what about mortgage rates and what about availability of credit. And what about all these factors that people are wondering that they don't have the answer to right now? People are looking for answers. If you could provide them answers, and you might not have all the answers, but if you could kind of give them an answer, you can maybe at least give them some information that helps them understand better what's going on. And again, this is in any situation. But right now, you can make this very specific to what's going on right now. There's a lot of people in real estate, buyers and sellers, as well as real estate agents that are uncertain, that don't understand what's going on. So you've got to do your research. You've got to figure some stuff out so that way you can communicate informed information and informed knowledge. And maybe that involves you bringing together other experts. Maybe you have a mortgage broker that you could team up with on this here, that you could have a joint strategy with, split the cost in your advertising. And you could inform them. And maybe you're even doing live webinars. That's if you're not taking advantage of the opportunity to be on a stage in front of potentially hundreds, if not thousands of people, or maybe only 2 or 3 people. The technology exists, whether it's through a Facebook Live, a YouTube Live, or maybe you're just doing maybe you're doing one of the fancier Zoom meetings or GoToMeeting or something like that. You have all this technology and you have the ability to say, hey guys, we're doing a special webinar about buying a home in this market. Now, what I just said right now, you could run that at any time. Sign up for this webinar about buying a home in Tampa in 2020. And people might see that and they say, well, I've been wanting to buy a home, but I'm a little uncertain right now. Let me go get informed. Let me put in my email here because now there's something that I want. There's something that this person has. There's something that you have, information that these people want. So you need to put yourself in a position to deliver that information. So you start informing and you continue informing. And as you continue informing and as you move down this process here, this is going to allow you to build a deeper relationship. And this might be a new skill for you. This might be a new skill to be able to network digitally, to be able to grow your relationships digitally. This isn't new. This is something that we've been playing with since when did MySpace come out? How long ago was MySpace? What was that, like 15 years ago? What was that, like 2005, 2004? Whenever MySpace started to come out, YouTube came out probably around the same time. And even before that, there were, who remembers the AOL Messenger? These tools existed for, what is that, 20 years ago? I think it was the 90s, right? When we had AOL Instant Messenger, maybe the 2000s, somewhere in that time. These tools have existed for communicating digitally for years, for the past 2 decades. And they're better than ever. They're more powerful than ever. You almost have the opportunity to be there, almost like you're there without being there. And there's also a lot of opportunity for efficiency. For maybe you record a great set of information, a great presentation about mortgages or maybe about distressed properties. Now, how often have you had clients? Now, the real estate market, it's been, going really crazy in Tampa. It's been going up, but it's been stable. Still continuing to see not too much changes going on. And again, anything right now is temporary. Everything is always temporary. Look at the over time price indexes of real estate. Everything's always temporary, whatever's going on with it. But if you thought about people asking you, hey, what about a foreclosure? What about a short sale? And you're like, there's not really any available. I don't know how many short sales or foreclosures are going to be out there. They're out there every single day, but there probably will be a little bit more of them at the very least. And so that might be more of an opportunity. Hey, how do you buy a short sale? How do you buy a foreclosure? And are they even available right now? That's information people are looking for. Can you deliver that information? Do you know about that stuff? If you don't, let's get you some information. Let's figure out some sort of specialty that, and maybe short sales and foreclosures aren't the thing. Maybe there's still not enough of them yet. Because even if that does happen, that'll probably be months down the road before we see any of those start to rise. So what else? What about right now? That maybe down the road is a good thing to have. At some point, there's going to be a rise in short sales and foreclosures. If it's not this year or the next 5 years or the next 10 years, it's going to happen at some point again. So that's a good strategy to have in your back pocket should you ever need to pull it out. You've got to remember, whatever's going on in the world, you've got to have a tool in your tool belt to be able to continue to go on. You get quarantined to your home? Okay, well, what tools do I have in my belt to be able to still expand and grow my business from my couch, from my recliner? If you think about when you got into real estate, that might have been the reason why you got a real estate license, is you're thinking about, maybe I want to kick back on the couch, maybe I want to kick back in a recliner, so that way I could just search the MLS and I could contact clients and I could run my real estate business from my living room. Guess what? That was probably one of the reasons why you signed up for real estate. And so now when that happens, like, hey, you got to stay at home. Okay, well, all right, I guess I'll go sit in my home office or go sit on my couch and pull out my laptop because that's what I do already. I'm sure everyone there in real estate if you went in 6 months ago, a year ago into a real estate office, you go into a real estate office now, there's probably not much that you'd see in them, but that's not different. If you went into a real estate office 6 months ago, 3 months ago, you're really not going to usually see too much going on. Unless they're having some sort of meeting or training, that's usually the only time you'd see people at an office. And if they were just hanging out at the office, well, they're doing that. They're just hanging out at the office because real estate business usually isn't done in a real estate office. It's done out in the field. It's done out there at the properties. So that's what we relied on for the most part. And you might have had some form of digital, a part of your business. Maybe you've been digital ads. But again, then, have you ever done a webinar before? Do you even know what a webinar is? Just Google webinar, how to host your first webinar. And you could get a bunch of people together on this webinar. You run advertisements to start informing them to where you'll continue informing them on the webinar. And what this allows you to do is this allows you to get in front of multiple buyers or multiple sellers or multiple renters or whoever that particular target audience is to say, hey, we're going to talk about today how to get the lowest mortgage rates of your lifetime. Oh, really? Lowest mortgage rates of your lifetime? How to save thousands on your home by securing the lowest interest rates of your lifetime. Maybe that's something you want to team up with a mortgage broker on. How to save money, how to save thousands buying your home by taking advantage of the lowest interest rates ever. Man, that's gold. Or maybe not. I don't know. You got to test it. That's the point. I get great ideas all the time, or at least I think they're great ideas, and I don't know that they're a great idea until it's been validated that it's a great idea. And that's one of the huge benefits, one of the biggest benefits of digital anything is you can validate this. You can see how many people clicked on the ad, how many people signed up for my webinar, how many emails did I get? Out of those emails I got, how many were actually valid, legitimate emails? And out of those valid, legitimate emails, how many people even opened that email? And out of the people that opened that email, how many people clicked on the link in that email? And out of the people that clicked on the link in that email, how many people took that next step when they got to that page on your website? And you might say, well, John, how do I know all that? It's out there. The technology exists. Now, getting this all set up to work exactly like you want it, that's going to be a never-ending process. But there's already some simple tools out there. You could go sign up for one of these webinar platforms, and they usually have some sort of like registration form or something like that. This should be something you could implement pretty easily. You could have an ad that connects to a sign-up form or registration form from some sort of webinar service. Most of these webinar services, whether it's Zoom or GoToMeeting or whatever it is, they have some sort of registration form that you get. Now, yes, you've got to pay money for one of these services here, and yes, you'll also probably have to pay money for the advertising, and yes, it'd probably be better if you had a custom designed landing page that's better than the little form that they give you for the webinar system. But I would start doing something with this, and I would start trying to put something like this together as soon as possible. Are you doing an open house this weekend? Probably not. But hey, how about you do a webinar? Where are people right now? There's a very high likelihood that anybody on this planet right now that's still in good health, that's not dealing with bigger issues, But for everyone out there that's healthy right now, that's just doing their part to quarantining themselves, staying distance from everybody, that they probably have a screen in front of them. And maybe one of those tabs on that screen, probably Facebook. Maybe it's Google. Maybe it's YouTube. If you want to advertise through YouTube, that's part of the Google ad network. YouTube is part of the Google ad network. Google owns YouTube. So if you want to advertise on YouTube, you do that through Google. If you want to be on Facebook, Instagram, both of those places right now, they're probably seeing surges of traffic. Matter of fact, we should probably look up the statistics on that to see exactly how much more they're doing. We probably won't be able to see any information on something like this. I know Facebook is being overloaded right now. Facebook is overloaded and they're having a hard time dealing with it because everyone's working remotely. And Facebook, of all companies, of all businesses, was a company that extremely believed in, as I do as well, of having your employees under one roof. So they've had a lot of adapting to do as their employees are not all under one roof anymore. And that's been a little bit of a bump in it. But point being that tons of people are on screens. And we're all learning. We all have some growing pains right now. That's all this is. This is growing pains. You're either going to grow, you're either going to adapt your business, or you're going to wait this out. Now, if you're going to plan on waiting this out until things go back to normal, all right, yeah, if next week it was going to go back to normal, maybe just take the week off. If it was 2 weeks it's going to go back to normal, 2 weeks off, that's not too bad. You get a lot done in 2 weeks. You get a lot done in just 1 week. But what if it's not that long? What if it's longer than a week or 2 weeks? What if it's a month? What if it's 2 months? What if it's longer? Are we just going to lay down and just say, okay, we'll just wait until the old ways will work again? Or are we going to figure out how we could still do what we do what we're passionate about, but while still maintaining distance, maintaining all this other stuff that we're supposed to be maintaining right now? It's possible with digital. It's possible. Not possible, it's profitable. It's extremely profitable if this is done correctly. It's going to take some time for you to get this figured out, to get all the knobs tweaked and the levers in the exact right spot. Figuratively speaking, there's no knobs and levers you're doing here. It's just a bunch of settings you have to set up with all these little systems. Maybe you pay somebody to build this for you. Maybe you sign up for one of these real estate website platforms. I just got an email the other day from one of the platforms I use at one of my brokerages that they just added a request video tour button onto the website. That's now an option. They move that right up there to the top of the list, request video tour. You click request video tour, and now that gives you a notification that this person, this client, wants to get a video tour of the property. And so then maybe that's where you use something like FaceTime. Or maybe they don't have Apple, so maybe you've got to use Skype. Or maybe you use Zoom or GoToMeeting or whatever it is you're going to be using to communicate face-to-face digitally with people. I love FaceTime, but the problem with FaceTime is it only works with Apple products. So FaceTime is great for any of your clients that have Apple. And if all of your clients have Apple, well, that's easy. You already got the tool built into your iPhone, iPad, Mac, and all these devices. But, if you've got somebody that's on an Android device, which is probably about half the people with mobile devices, if not more, I don't know the exact statistics on it right now, but you want a system that works on both, whether that's Zoom. I want to see what's going on with Zoom, the statistics of that company, because they're probably being overrun with business right now. There's tons of these platforms out there, though, and I'm sure there's a huge market opening up with new systems that are maybe being developed and released into the market. So get some sort of system out there that you have, so if somebody does want to see a property virtually, maybe you already have a virtual tour set up. If you don't have virtual tours on all your listings yet, you're missing the boat. You're leaving business on the table. You're forcing people to risk their lives to be able to see the property. You don't want to do that. Just go get a virtual tour. Get a virtual tour so they could get a feel for it. And if they want more information, then they could request maybe a personal video tour where you go out there with your cell phone with whatever app it is you're going to use and you say, oh yeah, take a look at this. They say, oh wait, show me the kitchen again. What does that look like? And then now this is almost like they're there. You're being their robot, their body. And can you do this with all properties? Probably not. Maybe there's restrictions going on wherever it is that you are where that's not a possibility right now. But if that's not a possibility right now, it will be at some time. It will be at some time. And that should be something you're doing already. It should have been something you've already been doing, because how many times have you had an out-of-state buyer or seller? And maybe you haven't. And that's maybe because you're not able to do things like that. You haven't been willing to do things like that. You haven't even suggested doing things like that. These technologies exist. Don't be afraid of them. They could really help you grow your business regardless of what's going on, but they're especially important right now. So figure out some way you could do this. Get some attention and start informing them. What do they want to know about? What do they want to learn? Maybe you release a poll. Maybe you do a poll. Maybe you poll your clients. Maybe you talk to your clients. Have you guys talked to your clients? Have you spoke to them on the phone? It'd probably be good to hear from their realtor. They probably don't want to hear the realtor's trying to get them to list their property, but they want to at least maybe want to know, has their property value been impacted by this? Is the property value the same? Has it gone down? If it has gone down, will it stay down or will it go back up? What does your expertise say? What is your opinion on this matter? People want that information. Even if you don't have the exact answer, you don't have to have a crystal ball to be informed. Get yourself informed and start giving that information to your clients so that way you could have them armed with the proper information so they know the decisions it is that they need to make. Maybe they've been thinking about selling and maybe they need to get the property sold because maybe they have a lot of their equity tied up in their property. Maybe they have a ton of their equity tied up in the property. Maybe they just want to refinance or maybe they've been wanting to downsize. They might still have a need for real estate services. So you need to figure out a way that you can get the information that you have to them. If you don't have the information, go get the information so you can give it to them. But find out what information they need. Maybe do a simple question. Hey, what are you guys concerned with? Are you concerned with, what my house value has been impacted? Are you concerned with can you still buy a home right now? Are you concerned with, are prices going to go down? Because what if prices go down? Should I wait to buy? Well, I don't know. What if interest rates go up? If interest rates are down and prices are down, well then maybe, that's going to be cheaper if they both go down. But what if prices go down but interest rates go up? It's probably going to be the same price. Because you're probably going to pay a lot more money in interest if interest rates go up, depending on how much it goes up. Again, you don't have to have the crystal ball, but maybe just explaining the different ways that this could go down. It's like, well, if this happens, this could happen. If this happens, this could happen. And people will be really appreciative. Again, even if you don't have all the answers, they don't expect you to have all the answers. But you could share some information with them. And maybe that starts just with direct conversations with your clients. And then based on the conversations you're having with your clients, you figure out generally what is the consensus of the information people are looking for. And then maybe you plan out some webinar you're going to do and you run an ad to invite people to come meet you virtually. Just like you would invite people to meet you in your office, you're going to invite them to meet you in your office. Just through a screen, through a webcam. And the Google Hangouts is another one. I don't know if you've ever used Google Hangouts. That's pretty cool. That's free. And I think that's just an app that works on any device. So maybe Google Hangouts. Use something like that. And I'm pretty sure with Google Hangouts, there's nothing even to download. So how do you get people to meet you virtually? Maybe this webinar you're going to do, you don't even have a fancy webinar system. Maybe it's just going to be a Facebook live stream or a YouTube live stream. But figure out what information people are looking for, are concerned about. Package together that information because that's what people want right now. They might not want to buy and sell real estate, but they're probably interested in some information so they're more prepared for whether or not they need to buy real estate or sell real estate. So you package that information up into some sort of webinar, and I keep using that term webinar, even if you don't want to call it a webinar, but I like the term webinar because those are usually where you go on the web and you sit there and you learn something. Just like you'd maybe fill up a room of maybe 10, 20 people and tell them all about, hey, mortgage interest rates are really low right now. Here's my mortgage broker that I've teamed up with that's going to tell you a little bit more about the mortgage industry. And now what questions do you guys have? Because a lot of these systems have chats. You could even have it where you could bring somebody on virtually. You could put a camera up on them. These technologies are out there. A few more things I want to tell you guys, but first we're going to take a quick commercial break. Stick with us. I'm John Christopher. You're watching State of Real Estate. Are you studying for your Florida real estate exam? If you are, you need to check out our Pass First Try strategy. You're going to love this. It's 4 steps that we break down the process to study for your Florida real estate exam. So you're set up to pass your Florida real estate exam because that's what you're studying for, right? To pass your exam. It's 4 steps. Number 1, you learn the information. You've got to learn this to be able to pass the exam, but it doesn't stop at learning. Step 2, you've got to reinforce the basic, simple, key concepts. As you learn this information, keep reviewing the simple things. You don't need to know everything, but you got to review these basic key concepts. Step 3, you've got to test your knowledge. The exam's going to test your knowledge, so if you don't test your knowledge in advance, you won't find out if you know what you think you know until you take the exam. And then step 4 is be confident and prepared, because even if you know this material, you need to be confident that you know know the material. Check out the full strategy at passfirsttry.com. That's passfirsttry.com. State of real estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. I'm John Chrisman. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every Friday, 12 noon Eastern Time, to help you grow your real estate business. And even if things are kind of put on hold right now, even if it feels like somebody pressed the big pause button for everything right now, so that's kind of what it feels like. Somebody just hit pause on the remote and said, all right, let's just stop the world from turning for a second here. Let's just flip them around and see what's going on. Somebody's like flipping our snow globe upside down right now. I don't mean to make light of the situation, but the point being that things have changed. Things are different right now, at least temporarily, but there's going to be some lasting change after this of depending on how long this lasts and how deep we go into this here, of how much things are going to be changed once things do eventually get back to normal. But don't worry about that. Don't worry about the future. Don't worry about what is even a month down the road, because we're not there yet. We don't know. You just got to focus on what you can do today and take this one day at a time, and what you can do today is going to ultimately benefit you for tomorrow. You got to just take this one day at a time right now. So figure out how you could maybe start with this here. What type of it? Really, I would say start with this. Number one, poll your clients. Talk to them on the phone if you can, or maybe text them or email them or send them out a survey if you really have a large database of clients, and really get some information from them. Hey, what are you concerned with right now? I know you're not interested in buying and selling, but I want to make sure you guys have all the information that you need to have. What are you most concerned with? And you give them some options. Or you maybe have them free response. You just start a conversation with them through email or text message or through a phone call. So you figure out, what information do my clients want? You package together that information into something you can make into a presentation. Maybe you make a little PowerPoint for it. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're just talking to it over video. But have some sort of organization. Have some sort of notes of some talking points that you want to cover. Again, treat this like it's part of your business, because guess what? Now it's part of your business. So figure out some talking points, some information that you want to share based on the information you've collected from your clients, and then package together some sort of video conference, webinar, live stream, whatever it is that you want to call it. And now, figure out how you can get people interested in it. How do you get new people, new potential clients? And yeah, they might not need to buy and sell today, but I bet you find some people that do. Not all of them, and that's the case anytime. That's the case, that's not new, that hasn't changed. You're always going to reach more people than the actual people that need business right now. That's always some smaller percentage of the actual people you're reaching, of the people that need your product or service right now, this moment. That's always true with any sort of digital advertising. So then that's where all this information comes in, to where you can start informing them and continue to inform them and continue to build a deeper relationship with them. So that's what the goal of this all is. To deepen the relationships you already have with your current clients, provide them the information it is that you have that will help them, and then now figure out how you can help more people, how your information will be able to help more people. That's what you're doing. You're using your information to help people. You've got information, you're an expert. If you don't feel like an expert, figure out how to become an expert. Go train on something right now. Go figure something out. Go read some articles. Go talk to some people. Talk to your broker. Talk to mortgage brokers. Talk to people who know what they're talking about, most importantly. Figure out from the Association of Realtors, from all these different real estate publications, hey, what information do I need to have? What information do my clients need? Use that as well to be able to bolster the information that you have, so that way you can deliver help to people. Because that's what we're always doing in business. We're helping people. We're solving a problem for them, and by us solving a problem, we provide value to them, and they're willing to pay for that value. That we can still provide value. Now, you're probably not going to get paid just for the information. People probably aren't going to pay for your webinar to go learn about mortgage rates or anything like that. But maybe they're interested in learning about it, and maybe that results in a $10,000, $20,000 commission. It could. It won't happen with everybody. It might. Could. Probably not, though. But even if you got just one person out of however many people it is that you reached, is that 10 or 20 or 15 or 5 or 6 or $7,000 or whatever it is worth it? Probably. And this is very scalable. If you dive deep into this, if you really go deep down the rabbit hole, you'd be surprised by how much you could do utilizing these virtual systems and how much you'll be thinking, I should have been doing this years ago. So hopefully this helps you guys start to figure out how you could put something like this together, and maybe again, take action. You don't want to sit on this information. Take action. It's not going to be perfect the first time you do it. Again, try to put some organization into it, some planning into it, but don't go overkill to the point of where you don't do this. So get out there, start doing this, start spreading some information. That's what you want to spread right now. You want to spread information, and good, correct, accurate information that's applicable to the people who need it. And you find the people that need it already with the clients that you have, but then you grow that through advertising once you've got a message that you know people are interested in hearing that will help other people. You develop that, and then you find the people that want that information. So look, that's all the time we've got for today. If you've got questions on anything, if you're thinking about starting a real estate career, you're studying for your real estate exam, you're still waiting for the testing centers to open back up, so maybe you need some extra study tools to keep that information fresh, we got a bunch of great study tools. If you need to take post-licensing, they just extended the deadline, the DBPR, well, not necessarily the DBPR, the governor through an executive order extended the deadline for licenses that had a deadline during this time, which includes real estate. So if you had a license renewal deadline of March 31st of 2020, your renewal deadline is now pushed to April 30th of 2020. So they gave you an extra 30 days. So if you still need to get that post-licensing knocked out, we've got online courses so you can get your post-licensing done from the comfort of your home. And that post-licensing course will teach you a lot of good information about building a business plan. And now based on maybe what we've talked about today, you could maybe think about that more digitally, thinking maybe what we've talked about today, then building your business plan to really reinvent your business. That's what you have the opportunity to do right now, to reinvent your business, to reinvest and reinvent your business to be stronger and better than ever. It's possible, but you got to put in the work to get it done. So that post-licensing course, I'm sure that'll help you. It's got a lot of great information. It's got three mini courses. There's a segment on business planning, there's a segment on market specialties, and there's a segment on finance. All very important information. And even if you don't need post-licensing, you can still sign up for that course with us just if you want to go ahead and get that information. Matter of fact, if you don't need it for credit, we'll give you a discount on it since we won't have to report it to the state if you just want to take that course just for your general information. So you can still do that with that post-licensing course. If you don't want to account for credit, we'll get you some sort of special deal if you're interested in that, because it does have some great information in there about, again, business planning, market specialties, and finance and economics. It's 3 mini courses. So if you need to do post-licensing, I highly recommend getting that course so that way you can get this done. And even if you've already done your post-licensing, I would still recommend it. If you need continuing education, same thing for the deadline. We can help you out with all that. We're still available via phone, via email, via chat. Call us up. Let us help you, 813-333-2676. That's all the time we've got for today. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.
The most powerful tool to study for your real estate exam is the Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate. We've used our years of experience in preparing students for the Florida real estate exam to bring you the most powerful exam study tool available. In the Question Simulator, you'll be able to go directly to a particular unit so you can focus on the sections where you need the most practice. We have also included the percentages of each unit so you know which units are the most important for your real estate exam. Every question will immediately give you detailed feedback, which is almost always more important than the question or the answer themselves. After completing all the questions in a particular unit, you can go through question by question and review any that you've gotten wrong. You could also print out a report at the end of each quiz. The Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate is 100% mobile compatible, so you can practice with test questions anywhere you have your phone with you. Enroll now at questionsimulator.com and get ready to pass your exam.
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate.